The crowned one.
The crowned one.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Glad to have you back here at the Crown One. And I have to tell you that I'm kind of sad today. Actually, I'm really sad. When I first heard about it, it was originally reported by Clownfish TV, or where I first saw this report, and it looks like the comic books industry is taking a massive hit with the layoffs at Diamond Comic Distributors. So let's get into it. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for the latest updates on the latest uploads for the latest content. Right, so I mean, man, like, this is, you know, if you watch any of my other videos, you will hear my passion for comic books. And when I first saw this on Clownfish TV's channel, it really, you know, I actually had a moment of pause, man. It was almost like a moment of silence because of the hit that the comic books industry is taking. More to the point, Western comics, again, because we're seeing some of the financial issues that Diamond Comic Books Distributors is facing, hence the layoffs. So that addresses the why. The what, as far as who's getting laid off, it's I think it's supposed to be like lower personnel. There is a senior writer that got laid off, and I think he might be the only senior staff. And actually, in this article here, he writes his goodbye letter. And, you know, his name's Chris Powell. He was one of the chief sales and service officers over at Diamond. And he was just expressing his grief and also his gratitude with working with the people within the genre that he's been in, mostly his adult life, according to his departure letter. So again, you know, this, you know, if, you know, I try not to talk about my comic book history so much, but, you know, I do have a passion for comic books. There is an association there. So I'll just tell my story all over again. So if you haven't seen, I think it's the last video or the last two videos, you know, comic books has been a part of my childhood in a very big way academically. And you're probably like, oh, this is your first time seeing it. Like, what do you mean academically? I don't know how to explain it. So I remember, you know, just and I'll be brief about it because I've already addressed it in the videos. It helped me improve I will say the timeline is that when I started reading comic books, somehow my grades were getting better. And again, I don't have the science on that. You know, I don't struggle with any type of dyslexia or any reading issues. So that hasn't been my experience. But again, TLDR, that's what happened when I was a child. Told my parents about it. They actually started buying me more comic books, which is a plus for me, but and actually plus for them too. So hearing about the massive layoffs in the comic industry is just another strike towards comic books overall, because there have been a decline in sales. There have been financial issues, you know, just with I mean, maybe it's the storylines, maybe it's the lack of interest overall. You know, people tend to ebb and flow. So it may not just be, oh, I'm not interested in comic books, you know, because I don't like them, or it could just be either not interested at all. It is a new generation that, you know, we're writing these comic books too. And it could just be a number of things. So let me get into it just a little here. So some of these massive layoffs, you know, of course, hit Diamond Comic Books. Again, they're a major player and in the comic books and graphic novels, and reports indicate that an unexpected move has led to a substantial reduction in staff, which has affected multiple departments within the company. Now, Diamond Comics has long been a cornerstone of the comic distribution, serving both retailers and publishers for decades. I'm not sure when the inception of Diamond Comics distributors was, but I mean, this is like one of the big, I want to say the biggest distributing platform on this side of the hemisphere. I want to say, but and they also have large investors with large corporate investors with deep pockets. Now they're being sold off, and effectively Diamond Book Distributors is dead. And I can show you that here in the article. So it even says, as we know it, they are done. And again, just making me feel some type of way about it. However, it is being bought up, I want to say by Universal, and then also another here. Let me just scroll through here real quick. I think it was can't pronounce the name properly. I'm sorry if I'm scrolling. I had this stuff prepared, but I'm kind of jumping off script here. But okay, Ad Populum. It seems Ad Populum has acquired the assets of Diamond Comic Book Distributors, Diamond Book Distributors, and Diamond Select Toys and Collectibles, Collectible Grading Authority, and other related assets. Diamond UK will go to Universal in a separate deal, most likely. So there's speculation about that UK deal, but it looks like part and parcel, or at least the lion's share, is going to Populum, and then Alliance Game Distributors is going to Universal. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. Let's see what they do with it. But again, as it's being Diamond Comic Distributors is being divvied up. Diamond Comics Distributors proper is effectively done, and they're breaking up the band and they're going in their separate directions. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what it's going to look like in the future as far as how the distributor will function, the Diamond Comic Distributors will function. But we're also seeing layoffs. There's another article, and I can put that in the link in the description. Diamond Select Toys and Collectibles is also facing a massive layoff as well. So just a bit of a shakeup there. A lot of people are losing their jobs. Some people are questioning whether or not they're not questioning, but wondering if they're even going to be able to stay within the industry or go elsewhere. So we're seeing an overall arc with these layoffs, especially with the gig jobs in the media and entertainment sector. If you're seeing games journalists facing massive layoffs, you're seeing Kotaku, you're seeing some other, and I can't think off the top of my head, but Kotaku, I believe, is facing some layoffs as well. So, it's just a bit of a shakeup, and I don't want to sound chaotic, but maybe that's what's needed to help refine the process. But I don't want to make it sound insensitive, because I don't wish ill for anybody. If somebody's if somebody's working hard in the industry and stuff like that, even if I have a disagreement with them, I don't wish any ill upon them. These are people's livelihoods, and I think it speaks to the person if they're kind of celebrating somebody getting kicked to the curb. Now, if that person's causing so much havoc that it's hindering production, again, I won't celebrate it, but harmony has to be restored. Again, this is me speculating macrocosmic issue, issue macrocosmically, if I'm saying that properly. But when it comes to the individual issues, we just don't know. We don't know a person's individual lives, even if they post certain things on the internet. We want to be careful to rushing to a person's demise, because one day that demise might be our very own. And we want to judge not lest we also be judged, for the manner that we use judgment against others will be the same manner of judgment used against us. So I would be careful with any type of celebratory implementations when it comes to somebody being laid off. I think it's good to celebrate people's accomplishments. If you don't agree with it, you don't have to say anything, and I'm not here to wag the finger at anybody, just really to kind of keep the harmony of all things, and really hoping the best for the people that did get laid off, especially with this sales director. Let me make sure I'm saying service officer, chief sales and service officer. People like what they like. For those who have a love for the genre, have a passion for the genre, they want to stay in it and remain in it. I work in a separate sector. I'm actually in cybersecurity, but I still am writing comic. I'm writing a comic, and I want to distribute my comics as well. And I probably would have had to go through Diamond Comic Distributors if I wanted to get the word out. But There are other distributors. It's not the only one. It's just the biggest game in town. And I think, again, it's just a really heavy hit for the comic book industry to face, seeing the vanguard or flagship of comic distributors being taken down as such. But, you know, I want to remain hopeful because I'm writing my own comic books. I'm seeing independent creatives writing their own comic books. If you even look on the website that I'm reporting from, there's a chock full of other comic book distributors here, comic book writers that are writing their comic books. So comic books is not dead. It's just, you know, I really hope it's not on life support. I don't think that it is. I think it's just getting a shock, if you will. And, you know, we'll see what comes out on the other side. I think at some point there may be a revival. Again, the ebb and the flow. This might be the ebb portion, but I do believe that there will be a flow. Again, because you have people who still have a passion for the genre, who will stick to it. And, you know, I won't say that they will individually revive it, but as a whole, as everybody continues to remain and support it and create, that there will indeed be a revival as more and more people come into comic books in and of itself. There will be, I'd say, a reascension, if you will. So even though I do feel sorrowful because of the impact that the comic book world has faced, I want to remain hopeful. There is hope. So as long as somebody's writing a comic book, there's always hope. When people stop writing comic books, then all hope is lost. And then I will, you know, actually feel like totally sad. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for the latest updates on the latest uploads for the latest content. I'm messing up my outro. This is the Crown One signing off, and I'll talk to you guys later.